Kanye West started off this week posing next to his wife at the Grammys, who was at that point effectively naked. And then it got weird after that. He capped it off by publicly embracing Hitler. It's been a lot. So he went on a Twitter tirade posting so many things. We're not gonna read all of them because nobody's got time for that except apparently Kanye West. This one really sums it up. I'm a Nazi in all caps. If it wasn't in all caps, I wouldn't know how serious he was. He says, I love Hitler, now what? Okay, now what? I also am wondering, now what? Jesus. Call me Yadolf Hitler and your blank still wants to blank. Hitler was so fresh. I'm gonna normalize talking about Hitler the way they talk about killing N-words has been normalized. Don't try to like both sides this now, buddy. You're like 7 Hitler tweets deep at this point. Don't try to make like a deeper point. Don't try to like Chappelle it or whatever with what you're doing. I'm racist. Stereotypes exist for a reason and they all be true. He claims some of his best friends are Jewish, which generally that's not even a good start to a sentence, and I don't trust any of them. And then he did like, I think it was a laughing, crying face. So you know he's cool and also hip. I don't even know what the F anti-Semitic means. It's just some BS Jewish people made up to protect their BS. Was that the right there? I love Hitler, now what bees? So there's a lot there. And if we have time, we can get into the other weird thing about his wife. But let's start there, Ben. What do you think about Kanye?
I think it's lovely. I think it's a real breath of fresh air that we needed in this already bonkers beginning of 2025. Look, on TYT about 2 years ago when Kanye, it's pretty much synonymous at this point, went on
it's
his
Yadolf Hitler, please.
Yeah, my mistake, I stand corrected. Went on his infamous InfoWars wearing a mask, I Love Hitler tour that he did the first time. I came on and showed photos of my family, 17 members of which were annihilated by Hitler in the Holocaust, and said this man must be canceled forever. And I think, and several others across the media said similar things, I think, and to their credit, I haven't seen him interviewed anywhere. But then as time passes, people begin to be normalized again. Shame on the Grammys for inviting him there, if indeed they did. There's been mixed reporting on that. It seems like they did invite him at the end. Shame on them if they did do that. Shame on the press for covering his stunt on the red carpet. Shame on anybody who gives any sort of publicity to a monster like this without outright directly calling him a monster and calling for him to never be discussed publicly again. At what point do you have to go far enough that you are just permanently not talked about? Do people need clicks so much that they must keep calling into debate whether or not this person still can exist without being immediately demonized as the monster he factually is? Are there no lines left? When you say repeatedly now, over the course of years, that you love Hitler, can you be done? Can you just be obviously somebody who is not just hateful and bigoted and racist and anti-Semitic and disgusting, but also obviously playing you to remain relevant when he's been unable to make any sort of palatable music now for probably a decade? You're done, period, full stop.
Yeah, obviously I agree with pretty much most of the points that Ben made, but what I would encourage people to understand as well is that this dude is sick. He is diagnosed bipolar disorder, and I know I can already hear people saying, "Oh, you can't paint with a broad brush a bunch of people with bipolar disorder." I'm not saying everybody who has bipolar disorder has a penchant to do this, but one of the known symptoms of somebody who's going through it, do episodes, is to spew and say horrible epithets. And this dude is clearly off of his meds. He's clearly got a bunch of horrible people around him, yes men, because he's still very rich, but he's sick. He's a sick individual. And so when I see somebody acting, when I see somebody acting out like this, I see somebody who's sick. I'm not saying it's a good thing that he's doing this or that it should somehow be excused, but I'm telling you, you're watching the ravings of a mad person.
No doubt, no doubt. But so what? There's plenty of bipolar people that do not do that. The vast majority of bipolar people do not do that. I have friends who are bipolar who have never said an insulting thing, and they deal with their emotions privately, and they hopefully seek help and or medication if necessary. It doesn't matter when you become a danger to the public. I don't care what reason it is. You are canceled regardless of any mental health issue. You lose the right to speak publicly on an amplified platform when you speak and it engenders and creates and empowers hatred for a group of people. You're just done blanketly forever. There's an old stand-up comedian that used to say, I never understood the insanity defense for someone who murders somebody. Great, if he doesn't know what reality is, then put him on the electric chair and tell him it's a ride. That's an extreme version of it. But the point simply being, if somebody is gonna be a danger to society, it doesn't matter what the excuse for it is. There still has to be a protection for greater society, because as we've seen, there's madmen running the country. There's madmen speaking publicly, and all they're doing is just giving more cover and more fodder. The vast majority of people don't know about Kanye's mental health issues or diagnoses, if there even are official ones. They do know he's a rapper and a clothing designer that they like, and he's normalizing hatred against Jewish people. And that cannot be tolerated.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.